If you were to ask me what the defining trend of the 2020s YouTube landscape is, I'll give you 3 words. Indie animation takeover. Seriously, it feels like indie animation has exploded on YouTube this decade. As a curious parrot myself, I want to know what the most watched indie pilots are, and the more important question, are they good? Let's find out. Before we begin, let's set a few ground rules. Firstly, the pilot must include the words pilot or episode 1 in the title or description. Secondly, it must have the intention of becoming a full series, even if the series is most likely shelved and will probably never come out ever. This is why Animation vs Animator is disqualified from this list, because it was meant to be a one-off short film. Thirdly, no YouTube shorts. Sorry Skibidi Toilet. And finally, the pilots must be indie. I mean, duh. Okay, let's begin with
Number 15.
Ramshackle is about these 3 scraps named Vinny, Stone, and Skip who find a baby who they name Maggot. They decide to enter Maggot into an upper-class baby pageant to earn some cash. Hijinks ensue. First off, I love the relationship between the 3 main characters. I thought they had so much chemistry together. I also love the animation. I thought it was really funny at times. I also found the world of Ramshackle to be pretty cool. I love the Victorian aesthetic. Maggot is easily my favorite character in this. Without spoiling anything, he steals the freaking show. I found the soundtrack to be surprisingly good as well. I like the song that plays during the fight scene. One part I didn't like about Ramshackle is how unsubtle the message is. They keep beating you over the head with the message of eat the rich, which can be a little annoying. I also found the let me speak to your manager part kinda jarring, considering it's a reference to a modern meme set in this world that looks like it's from the 1900s. But overall, I had a fun time with Ramshackle.
Give it an A.
Number 14.
The Metal Family pilot is about this kid called Heavy who is punished for his misbehavior. He is also asked to summon his dad, Glam, to the school. After seeing what they did to Heavy, Glam decides to get his revenge. I love the style of the shot. It looks like a Newgrounds cartoon from the 2000s. I also love the dad's design when he walks into the school. He looks so slay. I also find it quite funny. There were parts where I laughed out loud. I had a few qualms with this pilot though. I didn't like the whoosh sound effect that they keep using. I also was not blown away by the voice acting. Overall, it's a cute story about an awesome dad who loves his son. I wish I had that. Yeah, C tier.
Number 13.
Grace's beginnings is about a cat named Grace who, after seeing her owners falling out, decide to bring home a present to mend their relationship. This however makes things worse, and they decide to abandon Grace. After this hardship, we see how Grace changes from a normal cat to an alpha cat. I love the backgrounds of this. They look so simple and charming at the same time. I also love how expressive the animation is. You can tell what the characters are thinking even though there's no dialogue. I also did not expect this to move me as much as it did. I genuinely got emotional when Grace got abandoned. As a person who didn't know much about this world of characters before watching it, I felt genuinely connected to Grace. I was rooting for her the whole time. It's crazy that Ava G was 19 when she made this. That's the age I am right now, and I'm making jack shit. People are gonna shit on me for this, but I'm gonna give this an A.
Number 12.
Satina Wants a Glass of Water is about this cute demon who wants a glass of water. Her mom, Lucia, would ask this guy, Dave, also would, if you could bring the water from the overworld to hell. I love Lucia and Dave's banter. They act like a divorced couple. I also love Satina. She's such a little gremlin. I also love the backgrounds that packed to the brim with detail. I also like that they're using the Always Sunny background music. That's literally my favorite show of all time. I also love the voice acting and the funny twist ending at the end. I have absolutely zero complaints with this pilot. I think it's a 10 out of 10. S tier.
Number 11.
The Space King pilot follows a group of psychopaths called the Star Defenders that worship the Space King. They worship him so much that they're willing to commit genocide for him. When I saw that Flash Kids was behind this pilot, I was a little worried. I've never been a fan of their sense of humor, especially that racist Mario video. That video is so bad. Apparently this is also a parody of Warhammer 40k, which I have no knowledge of, but after sitting down and watching it, I actually found some things that I liked about it. For one, the animation of this is stellar. I couldn't look away for 1 second. Definitely a huge upgrade from racist Mario. I'm also a huge fan of the background music, it's so good. Captain is easily my favorite Star Defender. He's such a bad person, but I love the voice that he was given. It's so funny. Unfortunately, I wasn't a fan of any of the other members of Star Defenders. I also did not jive with most of the jokes in the pilot, and I hated the alien queen scene. Despite not being the target demographic for this, I still found things to enjoy about it, so I give it a C.
Number 10.
Cliffside is about this wannabe gunslinger named Waylon who fights supernatural forces such as death itself, alongside his partner Honest Joe and this spider girl named Cordy. I love the blend of 2D and 3D animation, it looks so neat. I found the twins in the animation to be very smooth. Spider-Girl is my favorite character. She was so fun to watch and her design is so cool. Waylon is such a loser. He blatantly lies all the time, puts himself in stupid situations and never learns anything. I also found the 4-4 breaks to be super annoying. Feels like Liam Vickers is telling you, hey, I'm subverting a trope here, pay attention to me. But overall, it's cute. B.
Number 9.
The pilot of Lackadaisy follows a group of cats, Rocky, Freckle, and Ivy, who steal booze from graves in order to keep the titular speakeasy afloat. However, they get into a fight with a crime syndicate called the Marigold Gang. 1920s St. Missouri is such a uniquely beautiful setting. I love the aesthetics of the place. I love the character designs, they're so wonderful to look at. I'm also a big fan of the action, especially the fight scene. Half the time I was watching the pilot, I felt so lost. Since I had never read the comic, I had no idea who these people are. There were so many things that I was confused by that I had to look up on the Lackadaisy wiki. Overall, good animation, good action, confusing lore.
Number 8.
Knights of Guinevere's pilot is set in a capitalistic amusement park called Park Planet. The pilot mainly focuses on two friends, a blue-collar worker called Frankie and an engineer called Andy. After rediscovering the broken android mascot of Park Planet, Gwen, they decide to secretly fix Gwen in order to improve their lives. This is easily my favorite Glitch Productions pilot. The art and animation was so freaking superb, I wanted to print out every single frame. The world is so well thought out, there's so much attention to detail. Frankie is my favorite protagonist. I love the part where we can see her personality through her hallucinations. I also love Andy as well. I love how her cynicism contrasts with Frankie's enthusiasm. I also love the endless jabs that this pilot took at Disney. They were so great. It sucks that my favorite Glitch pilot on this list is also the least popular one. That kinda sucks. S tier.
Number 7.
The Gaslight District is about these three undead gangsters called the Smiling Dead who live in a collapsed world where nobody can die. Mel, the only human of the group, has to protect her identity because of a prophecy that involves her. I love how comic booky the animation is. It's like if Spider-Verse and Tim Burton had a child. The pilot can be so gruesome at times, I love it. I love the father-daughter relationship between Ken and Mel. I love how protective he is of her. I also love Breadhead and Mud. I thought it was so funny. The pilot needed to slow down a little. I found the pacing a bit too quick. I'm also not a fan of the lore dump at the start, though that's my personal preference. Overall, I love the grimy parts of the pilot and I also love the emotional center of the pilot. A tier.
Number 6.
Gameverse is about video game characters who live in a multiverse of video game worlds called, you guessed it, the Gameverse. Throughout the Gameverse, if a hero wins the game world is destroyed. In order to save these worlds, our protagonists, Kid, Kabuto, and Gobbles have to help the villains win. First off, I love the concept. I think it's so cool and unique at the same time. Jay Schlatt was the right guy to play Kabuto. I'm glad they chose him. The villains are okay. They have some funny moments here and there. Gobbles is my favorite character so far. Him being a Learnosaurus gives him so much potential. I wish Kid had more of a character than just being a girl with trauma. I also wish we got to see more of a backstory. I'm not a fan of
Flappers.
Oh, his voice is so annoying. I'm not a fan of the super obvious fan service. Gameverse has a very cool concept but it needs refining in some areas. B tier.
Number 5.
Hell of a Boss pilot follows a low-level demon named Blitz who starts an assassin company in Hell. We watch as he tries to keep the operation afloat alongside his employees Moxie, Millie, and Luna. I'm a huge fan of Brandon Rogers, so this pilot was totally up my alley. I love his performance as Blitz. It's like a horny Michael Scott. Moxie is my favorite character. He plays the role of the straight man so well. I think this show would have less haters if they stuck with this sitcom style. The IMP tune is so catchy, I've caught myself singing it so many times. I'm not a fan of Brock Baker's voice as Stolas. She gets better in later episodes, but god, Luna is so annoying in this. Also, it sucks that this pilot isn't even canon anymore. Rare Vivzy Pop W. A tier.
Number 4.
Episode 1 of BFDI follows a population of objects. A speaker box called the Announcer gives them the opportunity to compete against each other to win the titular Dream Island. The fact that two 12-year-olds made this is nothing short of impressive. I think the reason why this blew out is because of its simplicity. The animation is very simple and the characters are very easy to understand. I love that they voiced the sound effects, that's such a good touch. One thing that kind of annoyed me is that the characters just state what the other characters' personalities are. But overall, it still holds up even after all these years. A tier.
Number 3.
The Murder Drones pilot is set in a wasted planet where worker drones deal with a constant dread of being eaten by murder drones. In order to protect themselves, the worker drones barricade themselves behind locked doors. However, a rebellious teen named Uzi aims to save her kind by knocking down the doors and destroying the murder drones. She later forms an unlikely alliance with murder drone N. I love Uzi so much. I love how rebellious she is while being a complete and utter dog. Dialogue is so cringe in the best way possible. I also find the fight scenes to be freaking amazing. They get my blood pumped up every time. Unfortunately, I find the 4-4 breaks just as annoying as they were in Cliffside. Another thing is that I wish that things stayed consistent between the pilot and later episodes. I wish they didn't retcon the fact that murder drones need oil to survive. Overall, pretty good watch. A tier in my opinion.
Number 2.
The Hazbin Hotel pilot is set in a version of Hell where angels exterminate sinners every year. We follow the daughter of Hell, Charlie, as she announces the opening of a hotel aimed to redeem sinners. One thing that really stands out to me about Hazbin is the character designs. Say what you want about Vivzy, but no other show looks like this. I'm a sucker for musicals, so I thought the two songs in the pilot were bangers. I wish they kept this version of Alistair in the show. He's like genuinely intimidating. One thing I don't like about Hazbin Hotel is that the pacing can be way too fast. Like Alistair, Nifty, and Husk get introduced within like 3 seconds of each other. Like, calm down. I don't know if this is a nitpick or not, but I found the animation a bit distracting at times. But overall, I see why this pilot blew up. Way better than the actual show. A tier.
Number 1.
The Amazing Digital Circus pilot follows this woman named Pomni who gets trapped inside a virtual circus alongside other humans. The circus is controlled by the intelligent AI ringleader Kane, who encourages the humans to go on his many adventures. We also see Pomni try to escape the circus, but she ends up failing. You can definitely see why this is the most watched indie pilot of all time. Not only is the animation and soundtrack peak, but the character designs are unique and recognizable as well. I also love the psychological horror element in the pilot. I like that we get to learn about this virtual world alongside Pomni. I also love that you can already tell there's something off with Kane, like something is not entirely right with him. I love that the humor is not for kids, but everyone of all ages can enjoy it. It doesn't surprise me at all that this pilot managed to develop such a huge fandom. I wish that some of the setups in the pilot were actually answered in the actual show. Like, how did Jax get all those keys? I also wish that Ragatha got more screen time in the actual series.
Give it an A.
So yeah, that's my tier list. In conclusion, is indie animation good? Yeah, I say so. Guys, I would really appreciate it if you could help a parrot out and subscribe to this channel. I'm aiming for 1,000 subscribers this year and I could really appreciate your help.